Okay, let's begin with our prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, fine. So, we have been discussing on a very interesting topic since last session. And the topic is called the highest love, right? And this is a very, I can say, esoteric subject, which we have discussed to some level. We'll continue our discussions today and understand more what Prabhupada would like to tell us. Okay. So all these discussions we are having is by the mercy, by the grace, by the compassion of Srila Prabhupada, who has so nicely recorded all the teachings for our reference and following in our lives in a very careful manner. Right? If Prabhupada had not given these instructions recorded for us in the form of books or audio, we would have never been able to access this great understanding about how to perfect our life. We have a great sense of gratitude to Prabhupada for his wonderful contribution for our spiritual betterment. Okay. So in the previous session, session 1, we have discussed many wonderful things. The first point which Prabhupada explained to us was about what is life's perfection. Right? Generally, people think perfection of life means to become a big man, to become a successful person in terms of accomplishing accomplishments as a businessman or a famous man in whatever field we are in, right? Or earn a lot of money, name, fame, power, position. This is what people think as perfection. Whereas Prabhupada gives us a perspective of spiritual understanding of life's perfection as achieving what is known as love of God. Because any other aspect in our life with regard to achieving any material perfections are only limited to this body in this particular lifespan. But achieving love of God is going to transcend our situation of repetition of birth and death which we are going through in this material world, and ultimately reach the supreme situation of or ultimate situation of our life, right? So this is the perfection of life, right? As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Premo Pumartho Mahan, means achieving Krishna Prema, love of Krishna, is the perfection. So in this context, Prabhupada explained to us what is spiritual life. Spiritual life means wherein your actions and your thought processes are all centered around Krishna's satisfaction. Material life means all our actions, all our thinking, feeling, willing is centered around me and mine. Aham and mama means I am this body, and people around me are my relatives, my friends, my people. So just consciousness absorbed in thoughts of me and I and me. I and me and mine is called material life. Spiritual life means the consciousness is absorbed for Krishna and Krishna connected activities, Krishna connected various planning, thinking. That is called spiritual life. So this is what Krishna is advising in Bhagavad Gita, that we have to transform our consciousness like this. Only then we can achieve the highest perfection of life. So in this context, Prabhupada explained to us how in the material world we have different relationships with different people around us. And these relationships are all limiting to this particular lifespan. Sometimes even in this lifespan, we change relations, right? Friends change, our situations in life change with regard to many maybe relatives in so many aspects. And even nowadays, it is very common that people are changing their life partners quite often. So like this, the material world is subjected to this constant change with regard to our relationships, which we are trying to experience some type of a happiness from that relationship, right? Whereas the relationship with the material world is temporary, spiritual world's relation with Krishna is permanent. And scriptures point out that there are 12 different types of relationships in which Krishna would like to interact with us, associate with us, right? We'll get into more details of those in today's session also, but nevertheless, to get an overview of what we discussed. Just like the 5 primary relationships are the neutrality relationship, the friendship relationship. And neutrality basically means that you're having a very passive way of outlook towards a particular situation or a particular person or a particular circumstance. I give the example of how Prime Minister of this country, we don't have a personal relation, but we do have appreciation for him. That is called neutrality, right? Shantarasa. Then there are people who are our friends. There are people who work for us, right? And there are people who are known as our parents. And there are, then we have our spouse, right? Like this is called, these are various relationships in which we are going on in the present day situation. But these situations of different relationships in the material world are not permanent. They're going to end with our body, right? And whomever we are calling ourselves as our father, our mother, or our husband, wife, children, relatives, friends, all those relations will be cut off once once we leave this body. We as spirit soul leave this body and take one more body, then all the other relationships become irrelevant for us. Whereas our relationship with Krishna is permanent. That is what Krishna wants us to revive that relationship and come back. And what is the qualification to associate with Krishna? To come to this particular relationship? To be free from all type of any other desire other than having Krishna as my object of love. Right now we have different objects of attachment in our consciousness. So we have to transcend this and come to the point of Krishna attachment. Only then we can come to the point of perfection of life. Otherwise, we'll go on like this, life after life, having different relationships, different situations, sometimes as a human, sometimes as a devata, sometimes as an animal, like this. And further, Prabhupada explained to us how people right now are using the aspects of religion or performance of any spiritual activities for the purpose of material benefit, material prosperity. Dharma is used to get artha. And why artha? Artha, so that I can enjoy my senses, kama. And finally, we'll somehow manage to get liberated, moksha. This is what people are thinking right now. But these 4 purusharthas are not meant to indulge ourselves more in the activities of this material world, rather to liberate ourselves in the material world. So we should organize ourselves in a way as per the directions of scriptures to come out of this conception that I can enjoy in the material world, I can be happy in the material world. So with this, Prabhupada explained to us how to attain real happiness. Real happiness can be attained when we actually understand our real situation of ourselves as spirit soul, and we don't want anything material things, because it's like the example Prabhupada often gives with regard to a fish out of water. No matter whatever conditions or whatever comforts you give to the fish cannot be happy outside the water. Likewise, no matter whatever conditions, whatever comforts we may say, we may imagine, we may have arrangements for that, but that will not give us real happiness. So this is something which we need to ponder over and try to make it very strong in our consciousness that no matter can give me happiness. No material things can give me happiness. Only what can give me happiness is Krishna's association. Right? So we'll elaborate on this particular discussion further today in our discussion. So let's move forward. So why anything matter or material will not give us happiness is because we are spiritual by nature. And what is our need is love of Krishna. Prabhupada says, how can anyone be happy without Krishna? Suppose one is thrown into the ocean. How can he be happy there? This is not for us. So, in the ocean, if you are thrown, it's a very uncomfortable situation, right? Nobody would like to be thrown in the middle of the ocean like this. Our situation is like this. The material world is called Bhava Sagara. Bhava Sagara means ocean of repetition of birth and death, ocean of miseries, samsara. This has to be, actually felt. We're in the midst of ocean of miseries. Every situation, every moment, every opportunity we are seeing, we are always in the ocean, in the midst of so many problems. So early morning, we have a prayer offered to spiritual master every day. All of us remind ourselves, where are we? He said, samsara dava nalalidha loka. Right? We have discussed on this in our one of our previous topic discussions. This material world is compared to a situation wherein there is forest fire, samsara davanala. Right? Like in the forest, there is a forest fire. How the forest fire happens, nobody can figure out. But when forest fire happens, all the living entities there, the plants, trees, all the animals moving and crawling, everybody are in great distress, great pain. Our situation in the material world is similar. We are in the midst of great miserable situation. Samsara dava nala, leadha loka. Leadha means so much afflicted with miseries and pains. So the forest fire cannot be extinguished with any amount of artificial extinguishing with regard to getting fire brigades or putting a lot of buckets of water. Nothing can really subside that forest fire, extinguish the forest fire. So what is the only way? When there is torrential rains, good rains, automatically the forest fire will subside. So it is said that the spiritual master or the guide who is going to give us the pathway out of this material world is getting that mercy from the ocean of mercy of Krishna, and he's bringing the cloud of mercy on us, and he's showering that mercy. That is spiritual master. So in the material world, our situation is like this, very vulnerable. Arjuna also expressed a similar situation in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he says, I am perplexed, Krishna. I don't know what to do, how to handle the situation. He was about to fight and he was confused. Right? So he surrendered to Krishna and said, you only guide me. I'm accepting you as my master. So this is our situation. So no matter in the material world, any contractive measures we take up with regard to solving our problems, resolving our issues, we cannot be happy here. All those contracting measures will further complicate and make more and more complications in our life. Right? So we cannot be happy in the material world without Krishna, without Krishna's devotees giving us guidance. We cannot be happy. This is the point. Right? One may be very good swimmer, but how long will he be able to swim? Eventually, he becomes tired and drowns. Right? In the middle of the ocean, you are thrown, and how far you will swim? You get exhausted. That's what present situation in the material world with all of us is. We get tired with the way we are working in the material world, right? Whole life working hard, for organization, for a company, or for family. Even then, nobody is satisfied, right? Finally, life is, at the end of our life, we feel very frustrated, disappointed, disgusted. What is this? Nothing has been achieved. Bhagavad says, Parabhavastavad abodha jata. Right? You are defeated. Parabhava. You're defeated in your life when you don't have spiritual goal as the aim in life. Any other type of goals you have other than goal of serving Krishna and achieving Krishna's shelter, all other goals are going to frustrate you eventually. That's what Bhagavatam says. So you'll be tired and you'll be frustrated and don't know what to do. What is this? I've wasted my life. Next. Similarly, we are spiritual by nature. How can we be happy in this material world? It is not possible. Right? We as spiritual, we require Satchidananda experience. What is Satchidananda? Satchidananda means eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. This is our nature. By constitution, we are made up of. We are made up like this. We seek eternal existence. We want to and have complete understanding of things around us. Right? And we want always happiness. Contrary to this, our situation right now is Asat, Achit, and Nirananda. It's very important to understand this. Right now, our situation is what? Asat. Asat means is non-permanent, is temporary. Right? Our body itself is going to finish one day. Right? We have to leave this body. Right? We may think, oh, I have this body, I will not die, but we're in illusion. I have to leave this body one day. Chanakya Pandita says, Smara Nitya Anityatam. Always remember that your existence here in the material world is Anitya, means temporary. It is Asat. Achit. You are completely ignorant of what's going to happen to me after death. What is this life, purpose of this life? Where is my destination? What is my destination going to be after I leave this body? So many things, totally blank. Prabhupada always says, if you ask any person who is crossed 60, 70 years, ask him, what after death? You don't have answer. No clarity. Right? Complete ignorance. Right? So like this, we are in a temporary, ignorant life and life full of miseries, Nirananda. Whereas as spirit soul, our inner craving, our instinct in the material world is to experience permanency, a life of complete happiness and full of knowledge, contrary to our nature. That's what is the situation right now. So Prabhupada says, because we are spiritual by nature, we cannot be happy in the material world. It is not possible. But men are trying to remain here, making so many temporary adjustments for survival. This patchwork is not happiness. So we are trying to do a patchwork. Okay, some problem here, fix it. Some other problem here, fix it. Okay, then after that, some other problem will come. So we are not trying to get into the root of the problem. Bhagavad Gita analyzes, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the root problem of our existence in the material world is we are going through repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is the root problem. Main problem. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshana. So unless we resolve this problem, no matter any other stopgap arrangement you do, any other patchwork you do, will not give any permanent solution for us. Right? This is the main problem. You have to address this problem. So Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is addressing this problem. Right? So we are trying to only solve the temporary problems. The real problem we are forgetting. That's the point. So Prabhupada says very nicely, we are trying to make some temporary adjustments here, doing a patchwork, which will not going to solve a real problem. If one really wants happiness, here is the process. One must attain love of God. Right? Love of God basically means to awaken our consciousness as spirit soul, which is actually originally having that connection with Krishna, that is forgotten. Our affection, attachment is all very naturally there towards Krishna, that is forgotten. Right? We have to again awaken that, revive that. That is called love of God. Unless one can love Krishna, unless one finishes with love for cats, dogs, country, nation, and society, and instead concentrates his love on Krishna, there is no question of happiness. Right? Right now, our love is scattered. I love my country, I love my family, I love this, I love that. So many things I love. But your real love is for Krishna. This scattered love for so many things and objects and people and like this is actually making you go through repetition of birth and death in the material world. Right? When our consciousness is freed from these contaminations of so-called love for so many other aspects which is going to be entangling us, only fixed our mind on Krishna. That is what is required. So there is no question of happiness if you go on having this type of a contaminated or a polluted consciousness. I love this, I love that. Other than Krishna, everything I love. That is the problem in the present situation of people in the material world. So Rupa says, unless one finishes your love with so many things, other things, country, nation, society, family, etc., etc. Yes, does it mean that we should not have any affection or attachment to the family? Yes, you can have, but not that with the ignorance that is everything. As a duty, as a responsibility, you should have, but not to the extent of compromising with your spiritual goal. Right? Very nice example our Acharya Rupa Goswami gives. There are many drugs that saturate one with ideas or hallucinations. It's like, there's when Prabhupada went to America in 1960s, that time the youth in America were going through a movement. It's counterculture movement, wherein the normal way of traditional way of children going to school, then college, and going for a work, then taking care of the family was all was disrupted. The youth were thinking we're going to experiment with something new, so they started becoming drug addicts, and they wanted to have a very free life with no responsibility of marriage, working or earning, nothing, just free, just move around and have drugs and free sex, and like this is what life is. So you can take drugs and saturate ourselves with ideas of hallucination, but that doesn't mean you are out of the problem. Because people think, oh, I'm having a lot of problem now. If I take some intoxicant or some drugs, maybe my problem is solved. Maybe for that moment, unless that effect of intoxication is there, then you may not be having that pain. It's like when there is a lot of pain, doctor may give a painkiller. But the painkiller will be effective unless that medicine is going to have that effect. After that medicine's effect is subsided, again you start feeling pain. That's the point. So Prabhupada says, but Rupa Goswami says that unless one tastes that final drug of love of God at Krishna Prema, he will have to be captivated by the meditation, impersonal monism, and so many other distractions. So it's an important point we have to understand that in our life, what we are trying to do is we'll encounter problems and we try to solve them by our own intelligence and our own ways of trying to counteract them. So we think that solving the problem and coming out of the problem is success in my life or perfection in life, or resort to some sort of a process of some activities like meditation or philosophizing about the life. Like this, many things we try to do and say that, okay, now I'm out of the problem. Now I'm out of the problem. But how long? So Prabhupada says, unless you get the final drug of love of Krishna Prema, it is called, you have to be captivated by different temporary, say, time gap arrangements in the material world. It's not going to give a permanent solution. Right? So that love of God is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to give us by the process of Krishna consciousness. So we understood what is real happiness and why we're coming to the platform of real happiness is very natural for our situation because we are spiritual by nature. Now, if love of God is the highest perfection and we are spiritual by nature and we have to come to that platform, how do we cultivate this process, or how do we cultivate this Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada says we have to cultivate Krishna consciousness favorably. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes that to attain love of Krishna, one has to execute devotional service or Krishna consciousness. It is a process. First thing is to at least recognize that I'm spirit soul, I'm spiritual by nature, and my need is spiritual. My need is not material. Because any amount of material things supplied to keep me happy will not keep me happy. Unless until I am having spiritual content, spiritual activities, spiritual aspects in my life, I will not be happy. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, how it is possible? First thing is to understand that what is my real nature. My real nature is spiritual. And how to revive that spiritual nature? For that, it is called abhideya or activities, which means to execute some devotional practices as recommended, as given by the authorized scriptures and the authorized teachers. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says you have to cultivate, execute devotional service or Krishna consciousness, which means we have to perform practically with our senses. One has to engage oneself exclusively in serving Krishna. This is important. Right? We have to exclusively engage ourselves in serving Krishna. Right now, our activities are all exclusively for me and mine. Right? My family, my society, my organization, my company, my business. Like that, we have little Krishna also. For Krishna also something we do. But if you want to come to the platform of love of God, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's recommendation is you have to exclusively engage yourself in Krishna's service. Not that we have to give up everything what you are doing. Do it as a duty with other things. But with Krishna, your primary aspect of engagement should be fully focused. The highest perfectional stage of unalloyed devotion is to be free from all material desires, all mental speculation, and all fruitive activities. It's a very important definition of what is pure devotion or unalloyed devotion. Right? Basically, the desires, what we have, what type of desires? Desire to serve Krishna is fine. But other desires other than serving Krishna, it's called material desires. And some type of a philosophical, intellectual type of understanding about this is spiritual life, this is what we are supposed to be doing. This is called mental speculation. And all these things is, you're trying to work in a specific way to achieve some fruits, some results from this, which you have again concocted yourself. Right? This is, we have to be free from this. Three things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling here. Very important. Now he says, first is Anyavilashita Shunyam. You have to be free from material desires. And material desires means any desires which is going to, you think, or you have concocted that I can be happy like this by enjoying my senses. I can be happy by getting name, fame in the material world amongst midst of the people. I want to get a position here. This is called material desires. Right? You have false beliefs that in the material world I can be happy by various plans. And when the material plans are frustrated or disappointed, you philosophize in your life with regard to, no, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. This is called mental speculation. Right? And then for every activity you're doing, you're trying to see that result I should enjoy. That is called fruitive mentality. So the definition which the acharyas give us as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions is Anyavilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavritam. Right? You have to give up Anya Abhilasha, all type of desires other than serving Krishna. They are called material desires. Jnana Karmadi means all type of mental speculations. And all type of Karmadi means I work so that I enjoy the results. It's called fruitive activities. So this has to be given up. Only then you can come to the pure devotional platform. The basic principle of unalloyed devotion is that one cannot maintain any desire other than to become fully Krishna conscious. It's very, very clear. Right? No other desire other than to become fully Krishna conscious. Even if one knows that all other forms of God are also Krishna, one should not worship any other form, but should concentrate on the Krishna form. So again, see, it's called exclusive devotion to Krishna. Okay, I will meditate on other forms of Krishna. Fine, they're all Krishna only, non-different. But Krishna specifically says in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namusure. One-pointed attention and devotion to Krishna only. Very important, right? So just have full focus on Krishna. Krishna has many forms, but one only has to worship Krishna in his form with the flute as in the Radha Krishna deity. See, Bhagavad Gita and instructions are very clear in this matter. Krishna doesn't say, I have other forms, you can meditate on other forms also. Krishna doesn't say that in Bhagavad Gita especially. Even though it is the beginning of book, the scripture, which is a very basic scripture with regard to understanding about spiritual life. But Krishna recommends exclusive and a very focused devotion to Krishna only. Repeatedly in various teachings, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam ekam, antakale cha mam eva, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam, sharanam vraja. Like this, Krishna repeatedly telling about that form of Krishna standing in front of Arjuna. Right? The form of Krishna, which is actually the personal form of Krishna, Dvibhuja Muralidhara, it's called Shama Sundara. That form you have to worship. Simply concentrate on that form, and all mental speculation and fruitive activities will fall away. Right? This is what. So when while chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you just focus on the sound vibration, and while you're in the form of focusing or meditating on any form of Krishna, just focus on the Radha Krishna form, Krishna holding a flute. And all other aspects of jnana, karma will just go away. One has to cultivate Krishna consciousness favorably, and that means to execute service by which Krishna becomes satisfied. Right? So repeatedly Krishna has mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita about exclusive devotion to him. Right? And complete focus on him. So when Krishna wants specific things like that, when you dedicate yourself in that way, then Krishna is satisfied. If you don't do what Krishna wants, then you are not following what does he want, what he wants. Like if you want to please someone, you have to do as per his wish, as per his desire. What Prabhupada want to tell us here. One has to cultivate Krishna consciousness favorably, and that means to execute service by which Krishna becomes satisfied. Krishna consciousness is not attained by manufacturing one's own way. I may think that I am doing something in Krishna consciousness, but who has sanctioned it? Right? So there is no room for having any concoctions or speculations with regard to, okay, this way if I do, Krishna will be happy. Very clearly, Krishna has given what he wants in Bhagavad Gita. His mind is expressed in Bhagavad Gita. Mind expressed means what he desires, what he wants is very clearly expressed. And Prabhupada is explaining to us through the authorized succession of acharyas what Krishna wants. Right? Because Prabhupada is Krishna's pure devotee. He knows what Krishna wants. So when you hear from Prabhupada about Krishna's desire, it is very clear for us. So which means there is no room for our concoction, our speculation of, oh, if I do this, it's okay. Sometimes, we have our own manufactured way of worship of Krishna. No. There's an authorized way of worshipping Krishna. What is that? Krishna has explained. Not only in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam also, there is a section in Bhagavata called Uddhava Gita, wherein Krishna is instructing elaborately to Uddhava, he's one of his devotees, how he'll be pleased, especially about the deity worship and all. A lot of instructions are given in Bhagavata. So we cannot attain Krishna by our manufactured way. That is called the ascending process. Aroha Panta. Oh, I want to go to Krishna, I want to serve Krishna in my own way. That is wrong. We have to take knowledge from the descending process or the Avaroha Pantha. Krishna has instructed his disciple Brahma. From Brahma all the way down, the acharyas are getting knowledge. So follow them, follow their instructions. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Evam Parampara Prap. In this parampara, we have to understand Krishna and Krishna's devotion as explained to the acharyas. That's important. So before acting in any way, as in so-called bhakti, which we may have concocted, we have to verify whether this particular action I'm doing, is it sanctioned? Who has sanctioned it? For us, the sanction comes through three sources: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Guru means the bona fide spiritual master coming in the parampara, disciplic succession. Guru, Sadhu. Sadhu means the acharyas in the parampara. Right? And Shastra. Shastra is actually given by Krishna himself. So all three speak only one language, one message. So there is no contradiction in these three sources of authorities. Right? So Guru, Sadhu, Shastra has to sanction. Rather, they have to, yes, you can do this, you cannot do this. Just like with regard to chanting Hare Krishna, you have to chant Hare Krishna. This is the injunction. It's been sanctioned. No, one day I will do and next day I will not do. Whenever I want, I will do. That is wrong. That is your concoction. Or on Ekadashis, we are supposed to fast from grains, dal, rice, and some more, items. But no, I will just eat, instead of eating 5 chapatis, I will eat 2 chapatis today. Ekadashi, fasting. That is your concoction. So like that, not manufacturing to worship Krishna in our own way. You have to have the authorized way. That is the important. Love of God doesn't mean you manufacture your own way and Krishna will be satisfied. No. Very important point. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna hesitated to fight for certain moral reasons. But he was viewing the situation from the platform of fruitive activities on which one has to enjoy or suffer the results. Very classic example from Bhagavad Gita. Initially, Arjuna was hesitant to fight. Why? Because he was thinking, my relatives are there, my own people are there, my own family members. How can I kill them? So it was all based on one's selfish interest. Right? Arjuna gives some reasons like, if I kill all of them, how will we enjoy this kingdom? It's like in the ordinary life. We want to show off our opulence, our achievements to our friends and relatives. So Arjuna's point of view was, if I kill all these my relatives, whom should I show that I am a king or I am enjoying this like this way? Right? So his whole argument was on the platform of, as Prabhupada says, fruitive activities. Right? We are only seeing from our point of view with regard to, this my enjoyment is disturbed. So this was the perspective, or this was the viewpoint of Arjuna when he was hesitant to fight in the beginning. He was showing his hesitation to fight. He was considering that if he killed his family members, he would then be subjected to many reactions. Right? He also said, people, other party may be ignorant of papa punya, but I feel that if you simply kill this, my relatives like Duryodhana and party, will be badly affected by sins. But he has forgotten that this very Duryodhana and party has committed so many atrocities on Pandavas. The very situation of this fight is only because of Duryodhana and party being very adamant and arrogant with regard to their viewpoint of we want to enjoy the kingdom, we want to be the masters. Right? This Arjuna had forgotten. This conclusion, however, was not sanctioned by Krishna. The law of action and reaction in the material world is called karma, but devotional service transcends karma. This is the point which Arjuna was lacking. Arjuna was only seeing, as a nice, soft-hearted person, as a devotee, is seeing that, why should I harm other person? Why should I? But what does Krishna want? Very classic example. Arjuna's hesitation and Arjuna's decision not to fight in the beginning was completely a personal decision. Manufactured decision. Right? So he's not having this thought process of what does Krishna want? Right? So he's seeing only what is good, what is bad. Like this, we get into this paralysis, this analysis, sometimes with regard to, this may be good or this may be bad. When end up in some paralytic way of thinking and moving forward. Analysis paralysis, right? Whereas with regard to bhakti, things are very clear. Okay, I may like this, but if Krishna doesn't like, I reject it. I may not like something, but if Krishna wants, even though it is much against my liking, I'll accept it. Then you transcend the action reactions, because our likes and dislikes in the material world is based on some type of a biases and some type of a conditioning we have been in this material in this world since many lifetimes. So we have created something like, I like this, I don't like this, like, dislike. Whereas when you come to the platform of what Krishna wants, I'm going to do, whether it is is going to be favorable to me or unfavorable to me, doesn't matter. That is called pure devotion, right? So this what I like, I do. Just like somebody would like to eat meat, but if the question should be whether Krishna sanctions to eat meat for us. Just because I position towards whether to fight or not to fight. And Krishna clarified that basically in his instructions of Bhagavad Gita. So what does this favorably means? Prabhupada explains. Right? In our present situation, we are acting, we are thinking, we are feeling what pleases me or my people. That was Arjuna's way of seeing things. But what is favorably executing bhakti? Favorably executing bhakti means to act as Krishna wants, as Krishna desires. Unalloyed love must be free from all tinges of fruitive activities and all tinges of mental speculation and material desire. Prabhupada is repeating. Right? Pure devotion means free from material desires, free from any speculative habits with regard to, oh, this may be good, this may be not good. And you desire in a way what is going to have selfish motivations with regard to you and your extended family. Like this is what is entangling us. That unalloyed devotional service should be favorably fixed on Krishna. Right? Actually, we are all discussing a very detailed way of performance of devotion as explained by Prabhupada in this particular topic. So favorably means in accordance with what Krishna desires. What does Krishna want? So in every situation with regard to either it is my thinking, my feeling, or my willing, or the desire which I have, I should verify, confirm what does Krishna want in the situation. So in our case right now, because we are not having that level of devotion that Krishna will dictate to us directly, Krishna's representative is there. Prabhupada is there. He has given his instructions so very wonderfully for us. So what does Prabhupada say in this context? What does Prabhupada say in this particular situation is what we are supposed to always verify. That is called favorable execution of devotional service. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Right? Favorably means in accordance with what Krishna desires. Krishna desired that the battle of Kurukshetra take place. It was all arranged by him. Right? Krishna has tried his best to avoid the fight initially. When he went as a peace messenger to Duryodhana, and he wanted to pacify and say that why war? Pandavas are after all Kshatriyas. You give them 5 villages. But Duryodhana was hell-bent. He was very adamant. No, what 5 villages? Even the space occupied by the tip of a needle, I'm not going to give. Let them fight. So when Duryodhana was so adamant and was one sense leading to his own destruction, Krishna, yes, decided finally, yes, let's fight. Let there be fight. So in that way, Krishna has sanctioned the fight. Right? So the battle of Kurukshetra was a desire of Krishna. It was arranged by Krishna only. Arjuna was told, you are thinking in your own way, but even if you do not fight, rest assured that because it has been arranged by me, none of these warriors who are assembled here are going back to their homes. They will be killed here. It has already been arranged. Right? When Arjuna was hesitating to fight, Krishna gave various instructions. And at one point of time, Krishna showed his Vishwarupa and showed this universal form how as time, what's going to happen in the battle, Krishna displayed. But all the great warriors on both the sides are all destroyed. Right? And in fact, this statement which Krishna says to Arjuna is from that chapter, 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, I am that time destroyer of everything. Arjuna could practically see that universal form, that Bhishma, Karna, Drona, Duryodhana, and all so many great warriors are all rushing towards death, except for Pandavas and few others. Left, everybody was dead. And Krishna said, see, whether you fight or don't fight, I have made a plan. This is my desire. All of them will be killed. You just lift your bow and arrows and you become an instrument in this particular desire of mine. So Krishna indicated to Arjuna that there is a plan of Krishna. There is a sanction of Krishna. What should happen next with regard to this battle? You just be part of that plan. Don't plan independently. You plan what Krishna wants. Very important instruction. Because in the material world, or in our regular affairs, we plan so many things, right? We plan our future life, we plan, our safety, we plan so many things. But what does Krishna wants? Right? As a duty to in our life, we may have to have some plans with regard to, as per the directions of scriptures again. Not overly planning and forgetting Krishna, or not keeping ourselves in line with Krishna. That is wrong. That's what here Krishna is telling. Arjuna was told whether you fight or don't fight. Arjuna, Krishna said that these warriors are going to be killed anyway. They are not going to go back home. I already arranged the fight in this way. You just become an instrument in this whole fight, and you conquer and you get the name. Nimitta Bhatram Bhava Savyasachin, he says. So God's desire is such that one cannot change it. Nobody can change God's desire. Right? Krishna has two qualities. He can protect, he can also kill. If he wants to kill someone, there is no power in the world that can protect him. And if he protects someone, there is no power in the world that can kill him. The famous statement Prabhupada quotes always, Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to keep someone or protect someone, no power in the world can save him. Right? Kill him, sorry. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, no power in the world has that power to protect that person. Just like Kamsa. The classic example of Kamsa is always given. He tried so many things. He sent so many demons. He made so many arrangements to see that Krishna is killed from the very birth. As soon as he heard the Akashavani, when he was driving his sister Devaki, brother-in-law Vasudeva, that time only, when that marriage is just over and he's driving them to their house, that time only when he heard, he wanted to kill Devaki. Somehow Vasudeva managed, and he assured Kamsa that don't worry, I'm going to deliver all the children who are born. And after that, child after child, every child he was killing so mercilessly, because he was only thinking that I am going to kill Krishna. And after that also he has sent so many demons to kill Krishna. And practically every day there was a demon. And Krishna killed all of them. And finally Krishna came to Mathura and Krishna killed Kamsa. This is what it is. So this, which means Krishna's will or Krishna's desire is something nobody can change. This is the point. Then Prabhupada says, Krishna's desire is supreme. Therefore, we have to dovetail our desires with Krishna's. Whatever Krishna desires, no one can make null and void because he is the Supreme Lord. This is the point. So, if we align ourselves in this way, if we just dovetail ourselves in this way, that yes, what Krishna wants is for my good. Whatever he wants, I will do. Because what all other things I may have manufactured or concocted with my limited understanding, limited, say thinking, is not going to really help me, save me. Just like when we go in front of Krishna, we are not supposed to ask specific things to Krishna. Krishna, this problem is there, please solve my problem. No. You just leave it to Krishna and ask for, Krishna, please give me your devotion. Please make me more fixed up in your devotion. That is your prayer. That is what Krishna wants always. All the other problems are all circumstantial, incidental. Right? So other things Krishna will take care. When you are fixed up in devotion, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya Shintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshema Vahamya. When your activities, when your mind, intelligence is fixed up in Krishna's service only, exclusively, Ananya Chintayanto Mam, then Krishna says, I will take care of I will personally take care of your life. Yogakshema Vahamyaham, personally I will take care, Krishna says. So for a pure devotee, he's not worried about his maintenance, his problem. No. He's only worried about how I can always fix my mind on Krishna. how I can be exclusively devoted to Krishna. That is called unalloyed devotion. Right? Therefore, our duty is to dovetail our acts with Krishna's desire, not to manufacture an action and then declare, I am doing this in Krishna consciousness. That is wrong. So, the point which Prabhupada is trying to tell us is, what is favorable service to Krishna? Desiring only what Krishna desires. Right? Not that what I manufacture is what Krishna will like. No. Krishna will like what he wants. He's told something. If you do that, he will be happy. If you have concocted, manufactured a way of your own way of some so-called devotion, that is not devotion. We have to be very careful to ascertain whether Krishna actually wants it. See, Prabhupada is again emphasizing and reiterating this point. Very careful to ascertain whether Krishna actually wants it. How do you ascertain? How do you carefully analyze that? By his pure devotees. Prabhupada, all the acharyas have given us this amply. Right? What is that? What Krishna wants in this present age? We have to chant his holy names every day. And what does Prabhupada tell us? Chant minimum 16 rounds. Right? So this is called careful analysis and ascertaining what Krishna wants. So what a pure devotee is telling is what Krishna wants. What Prabhupada is telling is what Krishna wants. Such authorized knowledge is instructed with a representative of Krishna. Right? In our prayers of praise to the spiritual master, we are singing daily. If the spiritual master is satisfied, then God will be satisfied. And if this satisfies the spiritual master, then there is no way for him to please God. Right? This is the prayer we sing morning. Yasya prasadat bhagavat aprasado. If spiritual master is pleased, then God will be satisfied. If spiritual master is displeased, then God is displeased. Basically, it is to say that Krishna's desire, Krishna's will, Krishna's plan is revealed through his representative spiritual master. Simply follow him. What Prabhupada is saying, simply follow. That is going to save your life. Krishna is satisfied. Because we don't know whether Krishna is satisfied or not right now. But as a formula, if Krishna has to be satisfied, satisfy his pure devotee. That is Prabhupada. Very, very wonderful, understanding, which if we keep this as our guiding principle, then everything will be very, very simple and good. So we have to serve Krishna through the representative of Krishna. Right? So I think already we are shooting out of time. We'll discuss further more in our coming next sessions. Right? So let's conclude today with the understanding that yes, real happiness for us will be when we revive our spiritual nature. Right? No matter any type of arrangement in the material world, providing material comforts and material gratification will not give us real happiness. And how to come to this platform of real happiness? By serving Krishna or coming to the level of pure devotion to Krishna. And what is that pure devotion to Krishna? We understood. Unalloyed devotion means free from material desires and free from any type of speculative habits we have with regard to philosophizing things on our own in a way that is what is correct. It is what is the purpose of life. It's what people get into this type of philosophizing about their life and their situation, so many things. What does Krishna want? Is what in every situation we should understand. Favorable is called favorable devotion. What Krishna says about the purpose of life, what I am supposed to do. And this purpose of life and devotion to Krishna is all given, very clear directions are given by a representative of Krishna, that is Prabhupada. Right? We'll understand more in our coming sessions. But today, I'll conclude here. Anybody needs to ask, you can take a few questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Guptaji, Hare Krishna.
It's very informative and very knowledgeable. But, say, when we look at our practical life,
okay.
Say, for instance, you have, family, if you are working at a company, then you have boss and other things. So sometimes we have to, of course, we accept this, and one gets it what is told for him, and nothing more, nothing less. But say just leaving it to, we all have good thoughts, everything. We are, doing whatever best we can do, remembering God all the time. But we just, we as a human being, we just feel restless if we just we don't act to the situation we are in. So it's kind of, of course, ultimately what happens, the outcome is what is told for you. That's it. But in between situation, we just can't leave things as it is. We have to act. I don't know whether I've been able to express myself.
Yeah, I got a sense of it. Basically, you're telling we are helpless in many situations with regard to being forced to act in a specific way because of circumstances, situations, responsibilities, duties, right? But I also understand that this is what is the actual thing to do. Devotion, exclusive devotion to Krishna.
Right.
So we're in a dilemma of, balancing both.
Very right, very right.
This is what your question is?
Very right, very right. Something similar. Say we have buddhi, we have vivek, and if we are in a situation, we just can't leave it to the God. We have to act. So
this aspect of we have buddhi, we have everything is again a statement of you can say arrogance. To tell you from the Bhagavad Gita's point of view, because our buddhi is not our buddhi; it is given by Krishna.
True.
And also to make a statement that I cannot leave it to God. Again, this is a statement of again arrogance, because I think I can manage. I think I will be able to handle things.
No, Prabhuji, not that way. We also say God help those who help themselves.
See, it's like when let me reword it for you.
No, we are not saying with arrogance. We with all humility, we know that nothing is ours, nothing is in our hands. Everything we with all humility we accept it. But when you are in a situation, so you just can't sit idle. You have to act. Now that's a different story. That what action we have to take, that direction comes from God only.
Yeah, but if you are not seeking for direction, how it will come?
No,
direction
say for instance,
direction will come provided you are seeking for it. You really sincerely want the direction. And if you are trying to do things based on your conditioning, and you think that I can manage, I can figure out, I'll somehow come out. And I have done it earlier also.
I made it little simpler, but say for instance, as we say karma yoga, we do everything to best of our ability without accepting result. Best of our ability as sincerely as worship of God.
Again, there's a difference between karma yoga and karma. Gupta ji, the difference between karma yoga and karma. Are you talking about only karma or karma yoga? Karma yoga means you do best to satisfy Krishna.
That's true. Say
karma means you do best to see that your situation with regard to keeping yourself happy and everybody happy in the family, in society is okay. The difference, karma and karma yoga. Anyway, continue.
No. Karma yoga, we are doing, say, in any situation we are in, we have to act.
Yes.
So, our quality of action is that we are doing to best of our ability and as sincerely as worship of God without accepting, without objecting to the results we are getting. So, that is there. This also has to be there along with that everything is designed by God.
Okay. Anyway, I will maybe whatever I have understood about your point, to whatever extent, I'll give one simple incident which happened during Govardhana pastime. Right. So, of course, pure devotion, all these things, but we have some lessons from that. When Govardhana, hill was lifted by Krishna. Why? Because Indra was angry and he was showering torrential rains, continuous rains, so badly that it was whole Vrindavan was flooded. Right? So at that
Correct.
point of time, Krishna protected all the Vrajavasis by lifting the Govardhana like an umbrella, and all the Vrajavasis came under the Vrindavan, say, Govardhan shelter,
Right.
and they were all saved. So meanwhile, the father and mother of Krishna, they were feeling, as so many other elders, the Gopas and Gopis were feeling, oh, Krishna is only 7 years old, and how can he lift such a huge hill? Maybe it is tiring for him.
Mhm.
Okay, so some elderly Gopas, they started, supporting Krishna's, by the sides by holding some big, sticks and other things. So like that, they were trying to, help Krishna.
Mhm.
So when they were all talking, Krishna, it will be very heavy for you. We will take care of your job. You take rest. 7 days. So like this. So, okay, are you sure? Krishna asked. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's so heavy. How can you? Then Krishna just little, for a few inches, he just left the weight on them. That whole, the whole, thing got crumbled. All the
True.
sticks got crumbled. Basically, this is to show that, oh, I had to do this, I had to do that. Okay, with regard to devotion to Krishna, their affection for Krishna is one level. But in our ordinary course of activities, if we start thinking, oh, if I don't do this, then it will not happen. If I don't perform this, it will not. Yes, as a duty, whatever best possible we do. But not that we become very much sort of a, bound by our way of working, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing at the cost of devotion to Krishna. This is what I'm trying to tell, or trying to convey here. Basically, devotion of Krishna is the paramount thing which should be in our consciousness. Okay, something couldn't happen. Okay, for whatever reason, my responsibility towards one of the employees in my company, I couldn't fulfill. Fine, whatever best you did, but beyond that, what you could have done, right? That's
Okay.
what. So,
Oh, I feel now after, just now, whatever you mentioned, I
mm,
feel, say we should take it. He would give us the direction, what
mm,
we should do, what we
yes,
have to do.
yes. Basically,
So
see,
we,
again, let us not bind our conditioned life. The way we are thinking right now, a person who is diseased, he will only have the doctor prescribing a diet of, say, very simple diet of, some khichdi without spices and some boiled vegetables. And he is so conditioned to eat that, if we start telling him after, say, many years he's been following the diet, you say, there's a very nice special diet, very khichdi with nice spices and nice, this is there, then he cannot even imagine because we got conditioned in that way now. Right? So like that, thing is, we have to be understanding what Krishna wants. So there are two aspects with regard to our life. One is the material destiny, which it is unwinding with regard to the influence of time and our previous actions. What has to happen will happen, right? So accordingly, you have to react and you have to move forward in our life. But what is in your hand is spiritual destiny. With what is going to happen in our life, okay, after 5 years, I'll grow more older. But how I'm going to see that old age as? Am I going to take it with a lot of frustration, with a lot of disappointment, or am I going to take it as sanction of Krishna and I have to be well spiritually mature and spiritually wise? Is left to you.
no, I appreciate what you say, but I recently something very unique happened to me.
Uh,
So we are doing something for railways, for instance, railway toilet system.
mm,
Railways are having a lot of problems,
mm,
and the system we had made 7 years ago is the best. But
mm,
somehow we are not able to do it directly
mm,
because of the railway systems, which we can't don't get into it. So recently, I went to one railway coach factory to
mm,
sell those, to tell them this thing. Nobody was willing. But suddenly, one of the officer, he rang up somebody in Rivalry factory that
mm,
some so and so has done something. Please look into it.
mm,
And that fellow I had met several years ago, and he
Mm.
remembered everything. He called me. You say, come immediately.
Mm.
So I went there in less than 4 weeks' time.
Mm.
Say he was so impressed, so happy with the system. He's agreed to draft a new thing and has already sent whole system on field trials on a rail coach. So
Mm.
everything happened so suddenly and so in a unique way. We could
Mm.
have never thought of reaching this guy of
Mm.
our own.
Mm.
We went there. Somebody was kind enough. He said, "Okay, let me talk to him." And so somehow these kind of unique situation which arises. I
Mm.
think these are the blessing of.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the blessing in which
Happens.
way
When how
yeah,
Krishna
yeah,
has to bestow
yeah, yeah.
blessings, we
That is
don't.
how
Mm.
he guides us.
Yeah. And yesterday we were reading in Prabhupada's instructions every day morning. Prabhupada says, you go on doing your service to Krishna sincerely, seriously, automatically, and one fine day Krishna will bestow his mercy. But your
Yeah,
activities of chanting every day, performing devotion to Krishna, should all go on as seriously as possible every day.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true.
That's the point. That's the point.
So
Okay.
that is how yeah, yeah.
Very good. So
Thank
good.
you, Prabhuji.
I think a lot of things we are churning, and this is a very, as I told you, esoteric subject matter which we are discussing. Not easy for everybody to understand.
No,
That,
everybody's experience are very unique. If
uh,
I narrate my experience, he will say, "Pagal hai." Yeah, does
mm,
it happen this way? Does this happen this way?
correct.
So everybody's experience are so unique,
Yes.
not parallel.
Yeah.
But that is how one feels
Yeah.
the blessings.
Exactly. Fine. Thank you. Then. So we will close
Thank
now.
you.
Then we'll continue our
Thank
discussion next
you.
session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.